Okay, everyone, thanks for joining the Preserve Investor webinar. We're about to begin. This is Alex with Preserve, and Eric will be, there he is. All right, we'll be muted for the beginning portion, and then there will be a Q&A, and I'll let Eric take it away from here.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Welcome to this afternoon's Preserve webinar. We're going to walk through the history of our business, where we are now and where we're going, and bring up some key points of Preserve and why we believe it makes a great investment opportunity now. And then we'd love to hear from you. So we're really excited for your questions, your thoughts. I'll provide whatever answers I can, and whatever thoughts I can. We'll leave that till the end, and we welcome you either to IM your questions, but would love to hear from you verbally, and turn on your video too if you'd like. We'd love that. So I'm gonna share screen now. Great, thank you, everybody. Starting Preserve, we launched in 1995 our business plan, and in 1997 we came to market, and the key focus of Preserve was to make products from America's recycling, to turn the Earth's natural resources that were caught up in a yogurt cup or a sour cream container and grind that up and convert that into material that could make a toothbrush. This was a novel idea back in 1996. A lot of people looked at me like my head was screwed on wrong. But it certainly has proven to be a groundbreaking activity, and we have many people who are following us in those steps today. Preserve focused on recycling. It was the #1 eco activity in the 90s, and we sought to bring the efforts of recyclers. We sought to bring products made from their recycling back to them. We focused on manufacturing in the United States. The recycling was happening in the United States. We wanted to manufacture in the United States because we wanted to primarily sell in the United States. So that reduced our footprint and made the most sense from an environmental and economic standpoint. But recycling has not saved us. Consumer products are still a big problem from an environmental standpoint for our Earth, as many of us, all of us know. 29% of US emissions happen from the creation, the consumption, and the disposal of consumer products. And 8 million tons of plastic wind up in our oceans each year. Preserve is part of that solution. We're part of the solution to this problem, and we need to build to offer more of a solution. But right now, we have Preserve Poppy. We make products from ocean-bound plastics. We work with our partners, capture these bottles, and they're feeding towards the ocean, and collect them and grind them up and turn them into products made from those ocean-bound materials. A great percentage of materials that reach the ocean happen through rivers and tributaries. So it's a great place to collect these materials and then turn them into our Poppy products. We've been making products from recycled materials since 1996. The Preserve toothbrush has been at market for 25 plus years, and we've recycled over 11 million pounds of material to date. We also have a reuse program. We have reusable tableware and reusable to-go containers, and this is a great place to avoid single-use disposable items. Preserve is also developing in plant-based compostable materials, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. We're also committed to be net zero by 2030. As you see many companies doing this, this is a key step to reduce the emissions that we're creating here on Earth through industry and service. Many companies, biggest United States and global, the biggest companies out there are stepping forward and making these commitments. Some are pushing them out to 2040 or 2050. We're staying on track. Every year, we're making reductions and making changes related to our footprint and the products that we make and the packages that we choose. For instance, we just switched from recycled plastic package in our shave line to a paperboard package. And that's a key change to reduce the footprint of that specific package. I highlight Amazon here. They're our #1 customer. and Amazon also just awarded Preserve with the Climate Pledge Friendly badge for several of our products. Right now, we're in a sustainability spotlight. Many buyers and customers are looking to reduce their footprint when they're choosing products or they're choosing a company to work with. Whether it's a zero waste program or a carbon neutral initiative, Preserve is sought out by many customers and consumers. We affectionately call our consumers preservers. So you'll hear me use that word often. And we've never felt more strongly that the time is right to invest in our mission, our brand, the innovation that we're doing, and our growth. I wanted to highlight up front some key drivers for sales growth in the next 12 months. Preserve's top 3 products offer recurring sales. So as an investor, that's a great thing, right? As you build your base and you can continue to have those customers come back to you to repeat purchase a product that you sell, that's a great foundation for growth. Our toothbrush, our razor, and our cutlery products all offer these recurring sales. Compass Group, we just signed with the world's largest food service management company. Amazon is our #1 customer, both through the e-commerce platform and through their ownership with Whole Foods Market. We expect, for instance, our sales with Amazon to move from about $70K a month right now to about $110K a month before the end of the year. Every promotional dollar we spend there has had fantastic returns in building our business. Our food service sales right now, and we'll talk about this a bit more, we have a lot of customers coming to us on the food service front. We're looking to grow that business from about $200,000 to $300,000 a month to about $500,000 a month before the end of this year on a run rate standpoint. Other top drivers, Preserve cutlery has been approved within the bands of what's happening in Canada. So Canada has been out the forefront right now in banning single-use plastics. That's primarily styrene. And what we've proven with a test and verified with customers that this is good. We had a third-party test our cutlery. It's made from polypropylene. It's also had a leaching test to make sure that whatever concerns there may be related to the plastic elements inside are not there. As well, it's also washable. So one of the key tests that Canada requires is you should withstand 100 washings, and we do. So a lot of Canadian customers are coming to us to provide cutlery for their operations. Shave is the #1 selling product in the natural channel. It's a $187 billion total channel. The shave category within it, Preserve, is the #1 selling brand, according to Spins, which is like the AC Nielsen of the natural channel. Our products are made in the United States. This is a key thing right now with the geopolitical issues that we have and with companies in the United States seeking to diversify their supply chain. Of course, brought on from the supply chain issues of the pandemic, many companies, if not all, are saying, looking at their supply chain, how can I de-risk it? How can I source more products from the United States? We're there to provide that. Material innovation. We'll talk about this more. This is longer term. We have a lot of great development partners with material who are material development houses. We have partnerships with them, and with them, we're building solutions with polymers made from captured carbon dioxide, captured agro waste, or captured methane. Wanted to share the portfolio products that we have. We have lines in oral care, shave, tableware, kitchen, food storage, and food service. Innovation. Want to highlight some innovation. Since 1997, we've been blazing trails, building our Preserve mission. In every category we're in, we were the first company coming to market with products made from recycled materials. Again, this was novel back in 1996. Preserve's toothbrush was the #1 selling in the natural channel for 10 years. Many CPGs, consumer packaged goods companies, come to us to ask, how do you do this? We've talked to almost all the majors, but anything from Unilever and their brands to Procter and Gamble have come to Preserve and inquired about our processes and how we work. Often we share. It's an interesting place to be. I just thought I'd also highlight that Preserve toothbrush is the only toothbrush at Trader Joe's. We have been a B Corp pioneer. We're one of the earliest sign-ons to the B Corp pledge and process, and we've achieved Best for the Earth from their award system for 10 years in a row. We launched our food service division in 2017. As mentioned, there's a lot of legislation in the EU and bans, but in general, we're seeing an overall move from from major customers, how can I get out of petrochemical plastics and source recycled? Or how can I get out of them and source bioplastics, get to home compostable? The Preserve dispenser was awarded a patent in 2019, and the dispenser in the lower right corner is at all Whole Foods markets. We've been there for over 6 years. Preserve is also a champion in reuse systems. This is a wonderful product. It's hard to capture how fabulous it is in a quick minute. But we have our reusable to-go container at many universities, many corporate cafes. It's substantial in its ability to eliminate single-use to-go containers. We use them all the time in the office here. The local cafe has gotten very used to us walking down with our Preserve to go to get our sandwiches and meals. Couple of universities listed here, locals, Harvard and Boston College. We also have partnerships with tech companies in which there's an app that's a part of the program, and you can scan your reusable to go container to track the container, let you know when you can get a new one after you're finished. You drop it off, then you scan it, you could get a new one. But it also tracks your reduced impact. And sustainability officers, directors at these universities are looking for ways to measure the reduced footprint they're having for their sustainability reports, and also to good competition with their friends like Harvard and Boston College. They love to try to outdo each other, and we love that on the sustainability front. Wanted to highlight Preserve is the first in sourcing ocean-bound plastics for both toothbrushes and razors. And we give 25% of our proceeds of this line to nonprofits. So 25% go to nonprofits. There's 4 listed here, and their actions to reduce plastic waste, to reduce the harm of plastics caused to the ocean, and do research on what are the areas that consumer packaged goods companies in particular can take action, and consumers, to reduce the flow of plastics to the ocean. I'm going to move into addressable market and marketing opportunity. Our addressable market in our 3 key products totals $18 billion. We have a substantial marketing opportunity. Preserve has done a good job in financing over the years. We've had 10 equity raises. We've raised a total of $4 million. We also have about $4 million in debt. We are, along with our crowdfunding campaign, we're interested in a serious private equity investor as well. Preserve has the ability to put $5 million to work. We know that if we marketed our products better, more completely to the 80 million people out there that are interested in sustainability and lightening their footprint, we would have a great build of our revenue, and we would focus on building our profits along with that revenue. We estimate that we're now known by about 20 million preservers, and we seek to reach 80 million in the next 3 years. Preserve operations, just want to give you a high-level look of our business model. We focus on bricks and mortar, e-commerce, and food service customers. This is the breakdown of the percentage. This percentage will change this year. This is about where it was first quarter 2023. But as we move into more food service customers and environment, reach about 9.2 million in sales this year total. That percentage of bricks and mortar will come down, the food service will come up. And depending on how much we can invest in Amazon and our e-commerce, the online will change. Our strengths are our operations, our authentic brand, proprietary position, and market reach. We are in about 7,000 retail doors across the country. We have national US and retail food service division. We have national retail and food service distribution. To make this clear, we create all of our own designs. Preserve ideates, innovates, and creates its own designs with our partners at Evo Design. And those product designs, we create the molds, we own the molds, and then we work with our manufacturing partners to manufacture our products every day. Our manufacturing partners are some of the largest in the world. Our key blade manufacturer is Edgewell. They own the Schick brand. We've been working with Edgewell since 2001. We also work with Perigo. They're the largest toothbrush manufacturer in the United States and one of the largest in the world. So I just want to demonstrate that we find the right partner to make our products as great as they can, and Preserve brings the design, the mold ownership, and the sustainability footprint and sustainability positioning to them. Our manufacturers look to us to bring them sustainability ideas. So we meet with Perigo and Edgewell often on collaborations and other sustainability actions. Just want to highlight our major retail partners. And in food service, when we launched with Whole Foods Market back in 2017, they brought us into 5 distributors. Since that time, we've added 35 more. So we have 40 food service distributors now. Always want to be careful not bringing on too many distributors because you don't want them competing for business. Most of your distributor acquisition is through customer interest. So when a customer wants a product, they use a different distributor, they refer us to that distributor. Our friend Tori Morton, she can't answer enough calls right now what's going on in the food service division. So we have 2 others here working this summer to help her out. And again, with our raise, we're hoping to bring in more sales and food service, and customer service people. Just want to highlight a few more opportunities before we open it up to questions, and then also talk about the future before questions as well. So sales at Amazon are up 20% this year. We're at a run rate of about 800,000. As I mentioned before, when we put promotional dollars into Amazon, our sales are popping. Right now, we're holding our guys back because Preserve wants to be at a cash flow positive state, which we're almost there. We've been there before in our history, but right now we're investing in growth. And we also know that when we engage more funds with Amazon, we can also reach a more profitable level from an NCM, net contribution margin standpoint, and substantially build sales. If we had the funds, we could build our sales to 4 million, I expect, with Amazon over the next 2 years, $4 million a year. Wanted to highlight that Walmart brought Preserve toothbrush and shave into 200 store tests this past fall. When we met with Walmart, they were kind of in the presentation, they were eager to let out, we're taking in your products. Like they kind of couldn't hold it back. So those introductions to the major retail partners in the United States should be happening more. So we're just presenting to Kroger right now. We haven't talked to Target in a long time. And what I'm just trying to emphasize is that the opportunities are there and our team is just not able to reach them all. I just highlight a couple of other key retailers here of NCG, National Cooperative Grocers, and Sprouts, both nice sales increases. Talked a bit about this already. Again, the food service business is really booming right now. We've launched some significant customers in the last 12 months, and the brands and the Made in the USA attributes the bands that exist and the attributes that we have, and particularly the sustainability positioning, is making many customers find us and want to bring on our products. We're with Compass now. If you know the food service industry much, there's these food service management companies, and they can really turn the needle for you, move the needle for you. Both Aramark and Sodexo are looking at Preserve and looking to set us up. That would be, once we land Compass, which we have, we're there. Landing Aramark and Sodexo would really, quadruple, if not more, our current sales rates. Before we close, I want to talk about where a lot of our innovation is, and right now it's resourceful, I should say. In the sense that we are building slowly with each one of these partners with our limited R&D budget. Coverity, we've had a partnership with for 3 years now. I met the CEO and founder at an unreasonable retreat, and we are now working on a development project that's funded by Barclays of $150,000. We're looking to utilize Coverity's technology, which is capturing carbon dioxide to convert it to a powder, then becomes a polymer, and we can make our products out of it. It's a long process. It involves 3 different entities beyond Coverity and Preserve, because you have to be able to turn this powder, this polymer, into a material that can actually make a functioning product. So a lot of you may have had experiences with compostable materials that don't perform like you want them to. And we also believe there needs to be some changing in perception. You don't have to have a fork that's going to be, perfect for 80 meals and last 500 years. If you are in a single-use environment, you want that fork to be highly functional in that one occurrence and then compost after you're done. So that's one of the key initiatives that we have right now. We also are in discussions with Timeplast. We're testing with Braskem. Braskem has an agro-waste material that's made from sugar production that behaves just like a high-density polyethylene. And we're also in discussions with Mango Materials. And Mango makes a polymer, is developing a polymer, and should have production in 2025 of a polymer made from captured methane. So we believe that this is the future of Preserve. We do think we'll always have a core foundation in recycling, making products from reused Earth's resources. If you think of the natural gas that's caught up in this cup, grind it up, use it again and again. And we also know we'll have a position in reuse. But we think the future for us, and we think the future for the world and the most growth, will be finding materials that are alternatives to petrochemical plastics. Finding materials that are made from carbon dioxide, can be carbon negative, and then can make a great product that can be used and then composted. And the whole process leads to a carbon negative product. And should it run astray and find its way to the ocean, it could be potentially even a healthy tidbit for a marine animal versus harm them. So that's the future we envision. I would love to hear your thoughts and hear any questions people may have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eric. So everyone, we're going to open this up to a Q&A now. And what we're going to do, I have a few questions I'll throw out to Eric. We've got a few in the comments. We'd love if you hop on camera, you can ask them out loud. And to do that, just raise your hand on Zoom. If you just go to the reactions on the bottom of your Zoom, and you can click raise hand, and that will kind of bring you to the forefront and you'll be able to ask. And if you'd prefer to just ask in the chat, feel free to do that as well. So I mean, Eric, you were just kind of touching on this, but there was a whole lot of interesting stuff in that presentation. What are you most excited about? I mean, what that you're working on right now, I guess when you look at like kind of a 1 year, and then maybe some of these things were a longer time horizon. But if you look at on different time horizons, what gets you really excited for Preserve?
Thanks. Absolutely, Alex. So I'm going to say tactically and short term, most excited about the performance of Shave. The fact that product, which we've had, we've been in the category since 2003. We improved our Shave 3 product with a Shave 5 product. And that Shave 5 product is doing very well, both in bricks and mortar and in e-commerce. So I want to build on that momentum and continue to be the best selling shave product in the natural channel. As well, it's fun to watch the numbers. Not only are we seeing numbers from reports from bricks and mortar, but you look at our Amazon numbers and they're popping, and that's exciting. So that gets me excited to say, okay, how can we continue to build this business? I'd say longer term, what I just talked about, Alex. Those are you got to have patience. You got to have good project planning, and you got to have good, partnership synergies to be able to build that foundation that you are seeking to launch a product made from captured carbon dioxide. Right? It's extremely revolutionary. So, it's often that I need to say, okay, we've got 10 things you want to get done today that are about this week's business. But you got to make sure you're continuing to do, the good project management with the team related to those longer term innovations that you think are going to be truly groundbreaking.
Great. And we got two questions here from Dennis. One of them very practical. How will the additional investments from this fundraising be used? What's the planned use?
Right on. Thanks, Dennis. So right now we are investing in people. So the biggest thing that we can do to move the needle on our sales is to have more. I'm not going to, we're not hiring 2 or 3 people on the sales side, but to help. Again, mention her name, Tori Morton, who's our director of sales food service, to manage the inflow. She needs support. So a customer service person, a sales associate. Those are hires we're looking to do this fall. And then I'd say that we are also seeding these development projects. So the testing all take, small dollars to keep things moving forward to a place where we can verify that this opportunity exists. And then we're going to need more capital, right? So if we're starting to make a manufacturing platform that can produce the products made from captured carbon dioxide, that takes some serious capital. And getting the material to a point where it's to scale also does. So that's much longer term and nothing related to this raise. So I'm moving beyond your question, Dennis. Sorry. And that's let me just finish and say that's likely a whole new company in the sense that Caverity and Preserve, if we get to the point where we know we can make products from this material, we would likely launch a new company focused on that, in which Preserve shareholders would have a part.
Great. And one other question from Dennis: how do you maintain your leadership position and prevent copycats in the products that you have?
I think I'd just start by saying we kind of like copycats, Dennis. Preserve has always appreciated others who want to be in the space. And as I mentioned before, we can have questions from some of and inquiries from some of the largest CPGs about who we are and what we do. This happened a lot back in before 2010, 2007, 2008. SC Johnson, we had a lot of discussions with them. And we want other companies to be doing what Preserve does. We want other companies to be focused on reducing their footprint and sustainability initiatives. So We help. I'll be honest with you. We help, and generally we think that a wider breadth of products that have these attributes, this sustainability positioning is what consumers need, what preservers need, as well. It's what the earth needs, and preserve will be a strong part of that growth, I think, with or without others that are alongside us.
Thanks. And T. Morris asked a question more on the product side, saying Preserve's always been mindful and transparent about full product life cycle. Do you have an idea of the life cycle of food service products, especially the ones intended for reuse? How many are making it back to reuse? How many end up being single use?
Great. So our everyday tableware and our Preserve to Go are our key food service reusables. And they can go through thousands of reuses, washes, and reuses. So we don't hear from our customers how many uses they're actually putting it through. That's something that we're a little bit removed from. We have had discussions with customers about replacing some that may not have made it through as many reuses as they wanted. Those are sort of early days with Preserve to Go, and we haven't heard that for quite some time. But I think the way I'd answer your question is we know that they're tested for thousands of uses, and we believe they sustain those because our customers, they need to come back for more if they launch a program for Preserve to Go or reusable tableware. And that's mostly because of attrition, where people actually leave and they sacrifice their $5 for a Preserve to Go, and they like it so much they walk away with it.
Great. And this question from Charles, which is related to something we just asked. Yeah, hey, Charles. Do you want to ask Charles or okay, I'll ask it. What's the fundraising goal at this time? And is there any type of return to the folks who participate at this time in this fundraise? With whatever you can. I know you have to be careful about how you answer that question, but yeah, what can you say?
Charles, the fundraising goal is we're looking to raise about 300,000 now. We've kind of calibrated our raise. We had hoped in the early days to do $1 million in this raise through Start Engine and crowdfunding, but several expectations have changed a bit. So we're looking for 300,000 right now. We're close to 200 now. There's only a few days left in the campaign. I can't really talk about return that you'd achieve, but you are becoming a Preserve shareholder. You are in this escrow account of Start Engine, and if Start Engine, for instance, ever went bankrupt, those would be released. There would be a custodian that would release those shares to us. So you are investing in common stock A, just like all Preserve shareholders now. We do not have a complicated cap table. It's common stock A, convertible note, and some warrants and options.
Awesome.
Thanks, Charles.
I have a question for you. Can you just talk a little bit? You said there's a lot of opportunity. You believe if you can invest more in Amazon. Can you talk about kind of what that opportunity looks like and why you feel so bullish on that channel?
Yeah, thanks. I guess let's kind of forget about the beast that Amazon is for a second, and just from a business standpoint, I'm often blown away by how specific your marketing can be on Amazon versus with a bricks and mortar customer. On Amazon, you can sort of or I don't want to use the word track because that scares us too, but when that person is there looking at your products, and that person can be marketed to products that are like the product they're looking at. You can share your mission really well with an Amazon shopper. Your brand page, your presence really gets across the Preserve story. The fact that we have a climate pledge friendly badge is another reason that people quickly can say, oh, Amazon's put this through a third-party test, and I know it's more eco-friendly than the other product I was looking at. So right now we're spending, getting specifics, we're spending about $13,000 a month promoting with Amazon, and our sales are about 70,000. We feel, and we work with a company that's very good at these things, marketing on Amazon, and we're working really well with them. They're owned by Spins, coincidentally. We can see the metrics, we can see the spends, and we can see the ROI. And we've tested in each of these search terms or these display ads to know if we put more dollars in, those sales would climb and how much they would climb. So very specifically, we're able to gear in and say, if we put 30 grand a month versus 12,000 a month, our sales would be up here. We do it slowly, we do it tactically, we do it carefully, and watch that ROI, continue to bring fruit like we expect.
Great. Anything about, I mean, a lot of this business seems there's a lot of incredible like partnerships that you have. Mm-hmm. Are there any that you're kind of most focused on or most excited about beyond what you just mentioned?
I'm gonna do a politically correct answer because there could be a partner or two on the call. We have a penchant for partnerships at Preserve. That's one of our core values. Service beyond our size is another core value. We have felt all along that we can build our mission better. We can get our mission out to more preservers by working with partners who are larger. I'll give a great example of one who we don't work with very much anymore, but Stonyfield Farm, Gary Hirschberg and the team there, they were instrumental in a lot of ways of helping us build our toothbrush business. And that story of take a yogurt cup, recycle it, turn it into a toothbrush. So we love those partnerships where waste from one product, one company can be food for another, where the overall impact of the partnership can be reduced. We also, of course, love the partnerships that enable us to make, our best product that we can possibly make. I mean, EarthPact is right down the street in Leominster, Mass. And to be able to go to your manufacturing partner, watch your product being made on 2 64 cavity platforms with full robotics, it's very exciting. And, we've been working with them for, I think, 8 to 10 years now. And the amount of closeness that we have and synergies in seeking to work built our respective business together are immense. And we love that.
Great. If anyone else has any questions, please drop them in the chat right now. I just dropped a link to the Start Engine page, so that everyone can see where you can go ahead and check out the offering and where you can invest. Start Engine, there's a few steps there, but it makes it pretty straightforward. Eric, we just got a question from Tom. Where do you see the biggest growth for the company? And then also from Violet, could you speak about some of the challenges the company is facing in its growth? So kind of flip sides of the same coin.
Great. Yes, flip side of the same coin. The biggest, quickest growth will come from the food service channel of trade. Every week, we're pricing out 2 or 3 opportunities. And those opportunities are, for instance, I met 2 weeks ago with Hill and Marks. They're the largest distributor in New York State outside of the city. They pitch to and work with the St. Lawrence and Cornells of the world, as well as many corporations. That's an example of many that are coming to us where customers, again, seeking to find manufacturing in the United States, seeking a more sustainable option, are looking at New York City and the governor, who is likely to follow with something close to what Canada has for a ban or legislation around single-use plastics in New York. Massachusetts is looking at that as well. So to answer your question, Tom, the growth will come fastest and nearest with the food service sales. We in 2019, we were at about $4.5 million in sales. And we should be back there from a run rate standpoint, by the end of this year. If we're able to support the increase we have, that should be 8 million in 2024. And Violet, challenges. Thank you. I think I've spoke to them, but I'll just reiterate that our current challenges relate to a stretch of our team. We need both customer service and sales. So where we need to currently spend is there. If someone came in with a $5 million investment from a private equity firm, it's a different story in the sense that we would use that capital both for our team as well as for marketing, as well as for assets to increase our capacity and innovation. As I mentioned, the marketing challenge at Preserve. Preserve has an amazing, but pat ourselves in the back. We have a great story. And we have a lot of dedicated preservers for our 25 plus years. That story is captured within too much of a microcosm. We need to move out beyond that. We know that 80 million plus preservers are out there, and they would have a real interest in our story and our mission if we were able to introduce ourselves to them.
And Eric, we just got a great note from Holly that she said the utensils from Whole Foods last a long time, even in the dishwasher. Use them in her studio and home all the time. Have a hard time tossing something if it can be reused.
Right on. Thank you, Holly. Say thank you all very much for joining us this afternoon. We'd love to have you as investors. We love having you as preservers, people who are interested or use our products. And we welcome any reach outs that we can help along the way. Even if it's having a problem creating a Start Engine account, we'll help, and Start Engine will help. Thank you all for joining. It was a pleasure. I hope
Thank you,
enjoyed it.
everyone.